collective strength is using art to build community. Why is art an effective tool for empowering others and bringing attention to underserved and non-traditional art mediums? And in addition to that, why is this work so important today?
Art has always been a very powerful tool for empowering communities. You know, one example could be Lady Bird. I don't know how many of you all got a sense of pride when you saw the city's landmarks. Like, oh, I know that place, that's our building. Oh, I know that. Another example of that is Black Panther, the movie. When we see representations of ourselves on screen, there's a sense of pride. So art has always done that here in Sacramento. We've been able to do that in small ways. So at our gallery, when we have photo exhibits that have people who look like myself, who look like people in my community, it's empowering. So it has always been a tool that has been used to tell our own stories, to share our own narratives. And I think citywide we can do that as well. So Mike was saying that art is a way to talk about our personality as a city, right? That's empowering. Instead of having other people say, this is what Sacramento is, this is the kind of town it is, we get to tell our own story, we get to share our own narrative. And so art has been incredibly powerful as a tool to do that. And I think as marginalized communities, underserved communities, more than art forms, right? Communities that have been underserved or marginalized, we've used this as a tool to really take control of our own stories. And you know, whether it's through film, through digital art, you know, through photography, we've been able to use that here in the city as a way for different parts of you know, our city to be engaged and to tell their own stories. There's, you know, Sacramento isn't just Midtown, so we have all these other communities that also have a voice, that also have a personality, that make up the city. And so we've been using that as a tool to tell our own stories. And what was the second part of the question?
So why is this so important today, in particular here in Sacramento?
I think Sacramento is redefining itself. You know, we're figuring out, you know, who we are rather than allowing that story, that narrative to be told for us. We're finally saying, no, this is who we are. We're not who, you know, who other cities, other publications, other media have said that we are. This is who we are. So we're redefining ourselves. So I think it's an important way to be able to say who we are. I think on a larger scale, there's a lot going on politically, and we're in the capital of California, and so I think that it also allows for us to really redefine how we interact with each other. So art is very powerful. It really controls the narrative. It controls culture, and it's a tool that has been used, you know, throughout time to do that. And I don't think we've realized that in the past. I think that Sacramento is finally realizing the power that art has to really tell our own story.
So I've been fortunate enough to spend a little bit of time around the Soul Collective, and just in that period of time, some of the narratives or stories that I've heard about, without sounding too dramatic, but quite truthfully, the young lives that your programming has saved. Tell us just quickly a little bit of the kind of, what's the story of some of the great successes of Soul Collective?
It's been 12 years, so there's a lot of different successes, but I think one of the things that I always find incredible in terms of art is just the power of creativity. So we work with all of our different communities here in the city, and some have a lot less resources than others. And so when you're working with young people who really can't imagine themselves out of their situation, they're facing a lot of barriers. creativity and art has allowed them to really begin to imagine their future. What can I do? Creativity has been that tool that says, oh, I can actually see myself out of this neighborhood, out of this situation, graduating school, going to college. So I've seen art do that. And then in terms of just some of the success stories, someone mentioned Art Street. So one of the organizers, I remember him being a 17-year-old and organizing his first art show. At 18, 19, taking him out of the country and introducing him to a variety of artists and muralists and being able to do work here and in New York and in the Caribbean and doing mural tours. Years later, giving him access, the key to our space and saying, sure, paint whatever you want, which was kind of scary. But he did incredible work, and so when I see things like Art Street or Art Hotel, I saw the progression of that. Having access to a space is really rare. At that point, he had been established, had painted across, the world, and talking about Sean Berner. And so at that point, I had already seen the progression. He already had access to that space. Another young person that came in, who now works for us, is Andrew Bell, who ended up doing pop-up activations and doing work around poetry. And I remember him coming and being really scared and asking if he could host an open mic, and he was terrible. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, he's like the worst host. Someone take the mic from him, like, in the back, like biting my nails. And, but we gave him the opportunity. He really loved it. And he's like, how did I do? It's good. But just having that opportunity and that access to space is really important. So that's another success story. And I'll share one more. Okay. Unseen Heroes, who does incredible activations throughout the city. I remember meeting them. They were my neighbors, and they were starting the project, at home in the home office. And I said, hey, like, I have a space. Like, come and, have an office, and you guys can just, use it. And I really believe in what you guys are doing, and this is going to be incredible for the city. And in a year, they outgrew our space, and we're doing incredible work. So, so I've been lucky enough. I'm old, so I've been lucky enough to see a lot of success stories.